Let's go, Army.
Good afternoon from, it's afternoon, I've lost my way, it's still morning. It's an 11 o'clock start here for the Inter-Services basketball, and first up we have the RAF ladies, reigning champions, against the hosts, the Army. I'm Kath Brazier, I'm joined by two non-biased Army men's basketballers here. We've got Chris Moss and Tyler Ramsey joining me. Boys, just introduce yourself, tell us who you are briefly before the game gets underway.
So I'm Chris Moss, I've represented the Army for 3 years, and
this is Tyler Ramsey. I've also represented the Army for 3 years in a row now.
Thank you, boys, and they'll be bringing you all the basketball knowledge because I have very little. Being a netballer, I might fall into that category at some point, but just in case, it's obviously a sore spot here with Tyler, but just in case you're watching, you've just joined us on Forces News Facebook and YouTube. The Army are in black and yellow, the Warriors and the RAF are in the characteristic blue of the Royal Air Force. Guys, the RAF women are champions, and the Army have a lot to do here. It's really the RAF's to lose, isn't it? So looking forward to a good game.
Yeah, so the RAF won the tip there, so obviously the RAF gained first possession.
And it's obviously five-a-side, essentially. You have a starting five. It's a good lineup, but what's the key here, really? You're talking to probably seasoned basketball fans, but also novices as well. As past players, what's the hardest thing in the first 5 minutes to establish your kind of authority on a game?
For me, there's always a bit of nerves, obviously, going to the first game, but once you pass the first, second quarter, nerves go away, and a bit more heart and soul coming to the game. But yeah, for me, it's always a bit of a nerves at the first quarter of the game. Sorry.
And it's important to say, during this coverage, we do have our main camera on the game itself, but it's so important in basketball, isn't it, the clock, because you could have 2 seconds left of a quarter, say, and you could score in that 2 seconds. So crucial, really, that we have an eye on the clock, so to speak.
It's one of the most intense things in basketball with the shot clock. Like, no matter how many points you're up or down, it only takes less than a second to score a few points. So
the RAF women are up and running with the first points on the board. They are 2-0 up, and the Army here in possession. Hard for the Army girls, having dominated for quite a few years, to give over that possession to the RAF women. But they're on the scoreboard too. Okay, so we've got first technical foul of the game.
No technical.
Okay.
So that's not a technical foul, it's just a shooting foul. So number 14 for the Army, Bella, went to the basket, causes the contact, and then obviously she's now at the line shooting one, so it's a 3-point play. Okay,
there you go, that's why we have them on commentary. Bella then brilliantly putting the Army ahead. They are... But it's back in the possession of the RAF. Of course, the scoreboard ticking over there. Army are 1 point up. Is it baskets or points? Am I talking
either or?
Either or, yeah. Lots of points.
So the RAF reigning champions, they just need to win this game. The Army women having lost to the Royal Navy women will have to win by 22 points, 22 baskets easily to even put themselves up there for contention. So a final of sorts, but the women in the light blue certainly in an advantageous position. But it is a home game for the Army, so that will bring them some impetus, I'm sure, and they are in possession. What's the crossover in basketball? Because I mentioned obviously netball, and we know with the military there's a lot of crossover in sports. We especially find that in women's sports as well. I mean, looking at the two teams here, is there a lot of crossover from other sports?
Yeah, so obviously me being in the Army, there's a couple of on the bench over there that are netball players for the Army themselves, so there's a lot of crossover. It's easy. I'd say it's easy to cross over. Obviously, without the basketball, with a bounce, it's just netball, isn't it?
Yeah. So, you guys either had a go at netball then?
I've never played netball in my life, no. Nothing against it.
You just want to move your feet, you don't want to be stopped to the point. Yeah.
I like to play with the ball.
So the Army then, impression. Uncharacteristic, it's weird to see the Army not in red, but obviously this is a Warriors, we see it across the board. But the RAF have stolen possession there, and they've got a good run on the basket, but does not convert. But a lot of people are used to. This is Bella again, isn't it? Under the basket.
Yep, that's Bella.
Another 3-point play by Bella there. Not to be biased or anything.
In terms of players that you're watching, I know that you're more up together with the Army, but is Bella a key player? She's someone that you would put first five every time.
Yeah, 100%. She's been playing in the Army for how many years? About 3-4 years. Yeah, more. I reckon about 3 or 4 years now, and every year she brings 100%. And yeah, I'd put her starting 5 every time. Yeah.
So that is Bombardier Bella Morby about to. Nice, lovely.
One.
Do you call it a penalty, or is it a penalty shot?
It's just a foul shot.
It's a foul shot, okay.
Or a free throw.
The Army here in a 2-point lead here against the Royal Air Force ladies. Just as we sort of wait here, there have been 2 other obviously tournaments going on. There's the senior men's and the under-23s. The under-23s has been won by the Royal Air Force. They beat the Army today 54-51, and that was one of those matches where it literally went down to the last 5 seconds, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a heartbreak to watch, obviously being Army again.
It's a great game though, great game.
It was a great game. And I suppose as the RAF go on an empty basket here, so that's a lovely shot.
Easy 2 points from the 5 in the RAF bet.
Yeah. And that is, someone put big man Steph Cornell. I assume just Steph would be fine with her. She's equalised for the RAF, but the Army back in possession here. Right, so you hopefully will be joining us, and if you are hearing my dulcet tones, then we are live on Forces News Facebook and Forces News YouTube. Do tell us where you're watching. I know it's a Sunday, so it'll be a busy day for many, busy family day for many, but let's hope we'll have some new basketball fans joining us here, as I said, on Forces News Facebook and Forces News YouTube, as Bella Morby has the ball again, and she's fouled again. So in basketball, boys, is it the case that you worked towards getting a foul? A bit like, could you play that as a tactic to sort of be fouled? Can you do that in basketball? So you get the free shots.
So yeah, I understand what you're saying. So you could do like, you could target an individual player on the opposing team, because once they get to 5 fouls and they're fouled out, then they're out the game.
Oh wow. Okay.
So obviously, I think the number 21 that fouled Bella, then I think it was 21. I think she's on 2 fouls now. So she's obviously 3 more, she'll be out of the game.
Right, interesting. You can
definitely draw a foul. I mean, I'd say it's a tactic sometimes, but I wouldn't overuse it, of course, during most of the game. But
well, no, but I didn't realise that 5 fouls and you're out is.
Yeah. 5 fouls, that's the player out.
Wow. Does that mean you play a man down, for the rest of the game?
No, so someone off the bench will be subbing.
Okay.
But then that person then can't go back on.
Can't go back on, got you.
So there you go, number 21 for the RAF is now on 2 fouls, fouling number 4 for the Army, Holly, who is the captain for the Army team.
So Holly Kirkham,
Yeah, that's correct.
captain in the British Army, and she's going to be taking the free shots here. Yeah, as I was saying, do tell us where you're joining us from, wherever that is in the world and whatever time zone you're in. Oh, lovely there.
The points in.
Lovely net from Holly Kirkham, captain of the Army. I'm going to get the boys to explain this. We've had a question in from our director. What's the difference between getting one free shot and 2 free shots? And sometimes you get 3.
So if you are attacking the rim and you miss the shot, you'll get 2 shots.
Okay.
If you make that basket, you get 1 shot. And if you're shooting a free and you get fouled and the basket doesn't go in, you will get 3 shots.
Because it's the equivalent of getting 3 points, I suppose.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
But then if you're fouled on the free and you make the free, you will then get an extra additional shot for a 4-point play.
Okay, wow. Bella Morby in again.
Nice.
Using her physicality there, but to the Army's advantage. It is 10-8 to the hosts, but like I said...
5 fouls as well. So that means, with the ref being on 5 fouls now, that means every time the ref calls a foul, the Army will go to the free throw line.
Wow, okay.
No matter where it is on the court.
So this isn't a good start, really, from the RF ladies to have brought in 5 fouls already.
No, they're in early foul trouble.
Yeah. And that count will stay throughout the game, will it just keep topping up? Yeah, the quarter. Does it get called every quarter? Okay. No, it's fine. Yeah, I'm having watched a bit of NBA, but you know what it's like when you're watching in the States, and it's more about the cheerleaders and the food than it is about the sport. Obviously, this is the first time
Well, we don't have cheerleaders, sorry.
Well, you should.
We could be it if you want.
Co-commentators want to be cheerleaders. That's a note for next year.
I want to be a mascot this year. We couldn't find a costume.
Yeah, too small.
No, we just couldn't find a costume this year.
Okay, Tyler genuinely wants to be a mascot, so if we could sort that out for next year, that would be great. Anyone who's listening. And these mascots do not come in small sizes, I'm afraid. The Army then ahead by 10 points to 8 here in Aldershot for the final day of Inter-Services Basketball Action 2023. And it is the reigning champions, the ladies in light blue, against the Warriors, the Army side. And yeah, the RAF not making the baskets that they want to. The Army, whether it's home advantage or not, we don't know. But they will have had the RAF under-23s have just beaten the Army and won their competitions. That'll be a boost for the Air Force here in Aldershot. We've already had 2 days of action here in... is it just 2 days of action or 1? We had 1 day of action yesterday.
1 day of games yesterday.
Yeah. And we'll bring you those results later, but everything hangs on these matches today, the women's and the men's, which is coming later, and that'll be a 1 o'clock start. You stay with us here on Forces News Facebook and Forces News YouTube. The Army women, though, have to win by 22 points today to claim the title, because the RAF beat the Royal Navy and the Royal Navy beat the Army. We love it when it comes down to the line like that. But the Army making a good start. They are 10-8 up. So for anyone who is a scoreboard watcher, we do have a camera on the scoreboard, so you have the scores 10-8 as it stands. The number 1 in between that is the fact that we're in the first quarter. You've obviously got the time, which stops every time. You know, it's very crucial in basketball. And as the guys have just explained here, the 5 and 1 you see in red, that is the number of fouls, but that gets called every quarter, so that will go back to 0. And the RAF at the moment on quite a high foul count, if I can call it that. So that'll be something they need to talk about. And let's talk timeouts as well, guys. How many are you allowed of those a quarter?
It's 5. I think I'm pretty sure it's 5 timeouts you get.
Yeah, throughout the game.
For every game you're entitled to 5 timeouts.
Right, okay, so it's not endless. You can't keep calling a timeout.
No, you can't keep going on timeouts.
So that there was number 13, Lenny, for the Army, causing the foul on number 5 for the RAF, which is sending her to the line for 2 free throws.
And the basket's good.
Score is now 10-9 with one free throw to come.
We are back. Sorry if you heard any interference there on the line. Mobile phones getting in the way, and we are back, and the Army are still 10-9 up. As we have 3 minutes 40 remaining in this first quarter. How physical is basketball? Because again, I'm a netballer. It's a non-contact sport, but really there's a lot of bodies being used in this game.
I can see how people. So at intercourse in October, I actually got an elbow to the eye.
Wow.
And I split up my eye and my eyelids, and
Okay, very physical then.
Yeah, had to get stitches. So even though it can be a non-contact sport, it can be really physical. In terms of like pivoting with the ball on your feet, a lot of elbows get swung around, so there can be some injuries, especially when you're going up for the rebounds or for the shots. There are a lot of collisions sometimes. So yes, it's a non-contact sport, but really it ain't. And I can speak from experience.
His eyes look fine now. Can you see out both of them, Tyler?
Yeah. Still got 20/20 vision.
Still got 20/20 vision. That's good news. So Tyler Ramsey and Chris Moss joining me here on commentary, live on Forces News Facebook and Forces News YouTube. Do tell us where you're watching, wherever that is in the world, and what you know about basketball. You could maybe educate me a little bit further. I don't think I'm going to be an expert after today, but I do love a ball sport, so it's all good. The Army then pretty much controlling this first quarter. They're 14-11 up. The RAF women with a high foul count and not making the baskets that they would probably expect to, like that one. Chloe Wright there, right under the basket and just misjudging it slightly. They're going to go for a three-pointer though, but does not have the distance. Yeah. Chris, I'm trying to tell him to be unbiased here, but
it's super hard, sorry.
It's fine. I'll be unbiased. You guys can you bring the knowledge. That's what we care about. Holly Kirkham here, captain of the Army's women, and she's what's she instructing there, telling them to move around?
It's the play that we run. So obviously this is the hand gesture was to represent our play, which is called flow.
Okay.
So obviously the girls have been training all week, the last 2 weeks, so they obviously know what to do.
So those hand signals are they individual to each team and stuff like that?
Yeah, depending on the team. Like the men's team, they'll shout it. The girls' team, because obviously the atmosphere is loud, they just do a hand signal quickly. So then obviously they can play through that. So they don't all, as long as they can see it, they don't have to hear it, kind of thing.
Got you. And another beauty, in basketball as well, you don't really have attackers and defenders, or do you have people who are in a speciality?
You're there and back, there and back, there and back. It's no attacking and defending. People can be better on defence, but then obviously they still got to go and attack anyway.
Excellent. So you've got to be multi-skilled in this game of basketball, and I do love it because you get the calls of defence. There's no attack, is there? It's just a defence. There's no attack or anything like that.
I always say that defence wins games, personally.
Okay. That comes from a defender, I'm sure. The RAF then are 16-13 down here in the first quarter of Inter-Services basketball, the final match here. But a reminder, lovely attempt there from Nadine Abbey. But unfortunate, we are 30 seconds from time here. Do stay with us at the interval. We'll play some BFBS sport from other parts of the world and tell you what else is going on as the Army throw that one away. But we are here all afternoon for your basketball enjoyment. Question for you guys: is 22 points insurmountable for the Army women?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Confident reply there for 2 Army basketball.
22 points is not a lot at all.
22 points, isn't it?
Easily
That's a
achievable.
22 points margin. That's easily doable.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There you
The
go.
RAF I'll give the RAF the dues. They are a tough competition, but 22 points, anyone can win by 22 points against anyone. It's just if it's their game day. If their shots are dropping and the other team are not, just what it goes down to, I suppose.
Okay, excellent. So Chris Moss here and Tyler Ramsey with me on BFBS, Forces News, Facebook and YouTube. And we go into the first quarter with the Army up 16 points to 13. Do join us, do stay with us all afternoon. We've got basketball here from all of the games. We'll be right back. We're just going to take a short break.
Oops, sorry.
Hello and welcome back to Aldershot for the Inter-Services basketball. The Army women are up, the Army Warriors women are up 16-13 after the first quarter. And as we see, the foul count has gone back to 0. Tyler, you wanted to give someone a shout out. I hope they're watching.
Oh, my God. Yeah, so it's my lovely grand's birthday day. Don't ask me how old she is. I've already forgotten. Like I want to say it's 70. I think it's a bit 70 today.
Well,
but yeah,
Grandma Ramsey?
Grandma Collins, actually.
Okay, there you go. Grandma Collins, happy birthday to you, however old you are. A very young 70 your grandson thinks we think. We're not sure. But the RAF women then, reigning champions, but behind here in the first match of Inter-Services basketball. It's actually the second match, I'm lying. The under-23s have already played this morning, and that title was decided and went the way of the Air Force. Very competitive game this morning, but the RAF women are behind, and they will have had to have words with themselves during that interval break, because they're high on the foul count and haven't put the baskets away like they would expect to. Holly Kirkham there from the Army, and they'll be really pleased, I guess, guys, with that lead into the first quarter.
Yeah, 100%. It's the first quarter is always about settling your nerves and getting your first shot off, making it drop. So
getting the pace as well.
Yeah,
I mean.
We were just saying before the break, the Army women will need 22 points, a clear margin of 22 points or more, if they're going to win the Inter-Services title, having lost to the Royal Navy yesterday. The RAF women just need a win. They are behind at the moment. But Chris and Tyler, both wearing their Army colours, are confident that 22 points isn't that. It's definitely a gettable total. As we see Bella here on the ball, throwing forward for Holly, but just a bit too ambitious there on the ball.
The thing is, basketball as well, that it can be a very mental sport. Like once you get in your own head, like say for example your shots aren't dropping, or you're just not getting in the key hard enough, or like for example just getting the fouls drawn against you, or the refs not on your side, it can get in your own head. So once you get in your own head about if you're winning or losing or not, then most of the time it's game over. So it's a very mental game. So try and stay focused and in the zone, and letting the backcourt slides. If you miss a shot, just focus on go for the next basket.
Do you have that sort of very physical there in the middle? You're talking about being in your head. Is that a point where you could sub yourself off and sort of get your mind sorted? Yeah.
If you want to do a sub, like if you're tired, or like I said, you're in your own head, you can turn to the coach and ask for a sub, but it's down to his or her decision if you want to do a sub or not. But for me, it's definitely an issue. Like sometimes when I'm like, if my shots aren't dropping, or like I'm getting bad calls against me, I can get in my own head, like, get frustrated, and when you're playing ball frustrated, it's just not going to work out for you.
I mean, that goes for a lot of sports, really, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah,
Think
definitely.
of the mental side of most sports. And for such a small team, you know, to just have 5 on the side, you feel like you're letting your side down, don't you?
Yeah, it's what it is though. Like James Tyler said there, if you're making your shots, you're happy. You know, you're on fire, as they say. But then if you're missing your shots, you're cold. You get in your head. Then you start getting frustrated with yourself, and you're forcing a shot.
Yeah.
It's what it's all about.
And the Army, it looks like now it's 2 fouls up, but Bella Morby there being fouled. So it's Army ball here on the sideline. It seems a silly question, given that everyone in this room is taller than me. But do you actually need, I mean, at this level of basketball, do you actually need that height, or have you got some relatively shorter players who can play it? I noticed in the under-23 side, very skilled players who don't have the height.
No, well, I think from what I say, from my experience of basketball, I feel like height doesn't really matter. I mean, it does come down to the skill of the ball and your talent with it, really. But yes, I'll agree that height is an advantage, no doubt. But you see in the NBA and in the BBL that it's mainly like they're either really small or they're really tall. Like, it's a mixture of all sizes, really. Okay. But the height can be an advantage, but I wouldn't say you need to be tall to go and do this field sport.
There you go, for anyone my height or smaller, which is hard. As an adult grown female, the chance is out there for you. If you can shoot a basket, commonplace in basketball.
Sorry, tall players hate smaller players when they, so for example, if you've got to play against a smaller player, because they're so low, the ball is so low down for us to grab, so it makes it a hell of a lot harder for us to get the ball from.
Oh man, it's probably too late at my age to start, but I'm starting to think I could have had a career in basketball.
Nah, never too late.
Fantastic.
Never too late.
Never too late. Rachel Cathro there with an absolutely incredible basket for the Royal Air Force, which brings the game for the first time on to equal pegging. We are 16-all here in Services ladies basketball. Lovely take there from the RAF ladies, and they are up 18-16 there to the RAF women, and that's probably the lift that they need, because they did not have a good first quarter, probably by their books, as reigning champions. Steph Cornell, who has missed a few baskets but has made a lot of intercepts, proving number 5 here in the light blue for the RAF, proving a strong player for the ladies in blue. Got some great support here from our right, which is for now the Royal Air Force camp. We've got the Army camp on our left, so hopefully you can hear all the chanting. Anyone who's watched basketball knows that that is a regular occurrence over the water in the States. We talked about the BBL there, Tyler. How big is basketball in the UK? It seems to have grown a lot in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I think over the past couple of years it's definitely got a bit more popular, but it's, yeah, I mean, I don't know, in terms of like resources and he's like for the losing my words there now.
For the BBL or for at this level are you talking?
Say again? Resources
wise, is it lacking at the moment? Do you feel like it needs a bit more?
I think so, because I think because it's not really a big sport in the UK, so that's why we like resources and bring money towards the sport as well. But over in America, it's huge.
Yeah,
like one of the number 1 sports in America.
I mean, you're on footballer type salaries over in the States, aren't you?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And how does it compare with American football? I mean, if you like basketball, does it follow that you like other American sports?
For me personally, no. I like hockey, not a fan. Baseball, not a fan. But basketball's my number 1 sport.
Yep. So the Army then, lovely, with 2 free baskets there. That is Alex Croucher, bringing the scores level here at Aldershot, 18-all, as the Army won with 2 free baskets there. Absolutely incredible 3-pointer there from Nadine Abbey again. the RAF seem to have got their eye in finally.
So this is the point now where obviously so now we refer to them as the hot. Obviously the shots are dropping, they've got the flow of the game and they're controlling the pace. So this is where the Army now needs to step up, shut that pace down and take control of the game.
Yeah, and we talked about nerves at the beginning of the game, and that was obvious in the first quarter, especially from the RAF women. So much for them to defend when you are inter-services champions. We obviously had the first tournament back after COVID last year, and the RAF women took the title for that. So, and it was a long time coming for them. So this crucial. Grace Turton, who came on for this second quarter, making her presence felt as well. The RAF then up 23-18, and that's the biggest lead they've had so far in this game. The Army women need to tighten up, been taking out their own players, and mistakes like that won't help. The RAF then are on a bit of a roll here. Steph Cornell again there with a basket. Holly Kirkham back in possession for the Army to Bella Morby, and she's been a key player so far, but fouled there.
So that's Bella going back to the line.
What was that foul for? I mean, you guys did say that sometimes you're not sure yourself, but
So Bella was driving to the basket, hoop, whatever you call it, and she was caught. She was fouled, obviously, as she was going up, so it's called a shooting foul. So that's why she's now at the line shooting two.
Shooting two. Okay, so the Army with an 18-25 deficit to make up. Not a very impartial crowd here. Bella Morby then, second attempt out two. And she misses that one too, so the pressure's got to Bella Morby. And the RAF back in possession. They are 25-18 up. Long shot. Morby again with a attempted intercept, but it goes to the light blues. You see, you've got 3 officials on each game, is that right?
Yeah, 3 officials, yeah.
And you've got the timers over on the box.
Yeah, that's correct.
Imagine the person with responsibility to stop the clock is the most important one.
I'd say the rest, because they're calling the fouls,
Yeah,
you know. So it's all an important job, in it, especially us.
The RAF then using the whip here, but that was a silly mistake there. The Army back in possession, but they need some baskets. They are 25-18 down. Now, last year's competition was RAF Cosford, so it may have been that the women especially had the advantage there. Do you think home advantage means a lot at this level?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like in any sport, when you're playing at home, you've got the crowd's on your side, you feel a bit more relaxed, I'd probably say. I know. You feel like if you get the impression that it's like a sure year. It's your year to win being at home.
It's 25-18 here as we have a timeout that's been called, and they get a minute for a timeout. Is that
that's
correct?
correct.
A minute.
Yeah, the clock doesn't keep running. It's just that you have a 1-minute countdown, just for anyone who's watching. And we can see also, if we're looking at the scoreboard, that it's 4-2 in fouls. So the RAF women again pushing up their foul count. The Army have kept theirs down to 2, but as I was saying earlier, that gets wiped for every quarter. So we are into the second quarter here, and we will have a 10-minute break at half-time. But please do stay with us. We'll show you lots of lovely BFBS sports content from around the world, around the country. And of course, we've had a lot of inter-services rugby recently, a lot of inter-services football, and we're coming to the end of those winter games and entering into the summer. What do you guys do in the off-season then for basketball off-season? Still play basketball?
Yeah, so it could be, obviously, a lot of players, they will either play with the unit teams or they play with their core teams. Some calls will do like a sports tour, like for example, like I'm in the Royal Signals, so our last sports tour was in Dusseldorf in Germany.
Nice.
So that was really good, playing local civvy teams there. You tend to find as well, a lot of players in the Army will actually play for a civvy league as well, because the problem with basketball in the Army is that it's not concurrent all the time, it's not consistent. Yeah. So every 2 or 3 months there'll be a game, or or competition. So it's hard to like get back into the playing the sport, to brush the cobwebs off. And then once that game's done, you then got another 2 months of like no basketball. So you tend to find that a lot of people will play either Civvy League or for the units as well.
And so that's the same for you, Chris, because a lot of sports in the military, people are playing for civilian teams for that reason, so they can keep their skill set up.
Yeah, that's correct. Like Tyler said, a lot of us do play Civvy League, like from anything from like local league to Div 3, Div 2, Div 1. Obviously, no one quite plays in the BBL. I think the closest person we've got is for the men's team, Sam Talawasi, who's actually the female coach today.
Okay.
He currently plays in Division 1, I believe. So yeah, he plays at 13 team in Birmingham.
Right. Well, there you go. So we talk about it a lot in rugby. We've talked about it in netball. We know a lot of military sports people play a lot of sports. But that's interesting. It's good to know that there's that civilian teams set up out there. Whilst we were chatting there, the RAF had 2 free shots on goal. They got one of them. They are 26 points to 18 up. They just had one. Sorry, Chris is correcting me, as he should. Was it because I said goal?
Yeah.
Oh dear. See, there's my netballer coming out again. Shot on basket. Shot on.
There we go. That'll work. We'll go with basket, not goal.
Okay. No goals allowed here, people.
Basket points. Basket points. That's what it is.
I've been demoted several points by saying basket and netball. I've goal and netball too many times.
I mean, it could be worse. You could have said try, but it's okay.
Oh gosh. No, there's no line. They're not diving over a line. I'm not that stupid.
Touchdown? Yeah, we go for touchdown, yeah.
Oh, would that be acceptable just because it's an American sport? Come on.
Yeah, no, let's not use touchdown either.
I'm actually covering some American football in next week. Oh, the RAF then needing that basket, but they are 26 points to 18 up. And Holly Kirkham here, an attempt for the arm. He doesn't. One of those ones, yeah, that went around the rim. Yeah, didn't want to fall. Four minutes then remaining of this second quarter as we go into half-time here at the In-Services Basketball. If you're watching on Forces News Facebook or YouTube, please do tell us where you're watching from, and we'll try and bring you some of those messages during half-time. The Army up to 20 points, but losing at the moment 26-20.
Good steal from them. And what was it? Was it Rye? Was it Rye?
Yeah, that was
Rye in the Army. Yeah. Good steal from there.
Ooh. Those 3-pointers take quite a lot of strength, don't they?
Yeah, you've got to have some nerve to shoot them as well, because if you miss, you get heckled by the crowd, as you can probably hear on a couple of shots earlier.
This crowd are definitely heckling. And also on the free shots in the under-23 game, I noticed that there wasn't necessarily quietness that you would expect.
Yeah, so it's you're trying to put your opponent off.
Yeah.
Obviously, earlier it was a lot of, obviously it was Army against the RAF, so wolf whistles, shouting random comments, saying your shoelace is untied is a good one.
And the thing to put them off.
Yeah, pretty much. Just be as loud as you can, really.
It wasn't Chris, obviously. He was. It was his colleagues around him.
No, we respect the other team, definitely.
Sure. Oh, lovely. Chloe right there with a basket for the women in blue. Holly Kirkham here from the Army, trying to creep up on that lead, but the RAF have now got themselves an 8-point lead, 28 points to 20. They will have. Is it throw in? Am I using the what's the technical term for from the side?
Sideline ball.
Sideline ball.
Sideline ball.
It's all about the lingo, people.
Technically, it is a throw in, but because you're throwing it in, but yeah, it's got sideline ball.
What if it's a backline ball? Is that still a
baseline ball?
Baseline ball. There you
Not
go.
Backline.
Baseline. Sorry. I'm still learning. This is good.
That's why we're here.
Oh, lovely pass. That was beautiful. Execution from Rachel Cathro to Nadine Abbey there. Grace Turton, my apologies, not Nadine Abbey. Playing from the floor, clearly allowed. Oh, Bella Morby using her whole body there, but it is RAF ball. There is UCAF basketball, obviously UK Armed Forces basketball for men's and women's. So a lot of these women will have played with each other as well, but it's so difficult, isn't it? When
some of them have played with each other, so there's quite a few representing the RAF, I believe. I'm not too sure which individuals, but the likes of the Army women we've got previous that have represented, but current from the Army is number 4, Holly Kirkham.
Right.
So she's currently representing, or has represented this year, at the UCAF tournament.
And there's the Crown Services. Oh, is that what's the bigger tournament? That Crown Services volleyball. Sorry, but what's the big tournament? Sort of.
Shape.
Yeah, Shape. That's right.
So that's when obviously you're selected. You go to Belgium. You play against teams from all over the world.
Brilliant. So the RAF have really pulled it back in this quarter. They are 30 points to 20. They're a good 10-point margin ahead. It goes with the grain in the sense the RAF women are reigning champions. Oh, nearly a lovely three-pointer there, but yeah, whoever says basketball isn't a contact sport isn't watching today. As we are in the final minute here of the second quarter of Inter-Services basketball, the women, a lovely three-pointer there, absolutely lovely. I'm gonna.
Just to correct you, that was a 2. She stepped in as she shot.
Apologies. Okay.
It's okay. Sorry.
Got to keep your eyes on the line.
If you watch the ref, you'll see the ref do this.
Okay.
Show 3 fingers for a 3-point or 2 for a 2.
Just so for anyone who can't see that on camera, Tyler put out 3 fingers and kind of did like a handshake move, and then they'll do 2 fingers for a 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way they're able to see what the ref's wanting.
Right, 5 seconds though. That's what I mean about this could stretch out for a while. So are they doing a sub? Is that yeah, they're bringing on.
So it's a sub and a foul. So obviously the play was stopped for the foul, but then obviously while the play is stopped, they're doing the foul for the last 5 seconds of the quarter.
Okay.
Maybe they're just tired, but hopefully they'll be back in third.
Right, so it is 30 points to 22 here. The Army, the hosts, with 22. The RAF women, the champions, reigning champions, with 30 points. And they have free shot on goal. Missed that one, so they got another one.
You called it a goal again.
Oh, sorry. Right. I will pay you £1 for every time I say goal. It's £2 so far.
Deal.
They're not real pounds, don't worry.
Aww.
They're BFBS pounds. It's like Monopoly money. So 5 seconds remaining in this half, in this second quarter, and the RAF lead 30 points to 22. 2.5 seconds remaining. I love this stretched out sport it is, and Grace Turton here, 2.4, 2.5 seconds. Grace Turton here with a sideline ball. And the RAF have got 2.5 seconds to play with, and that is the half. The RAF then, the RAF ladies, 30 points to the Army's 22. Guys, just quickly surmise that half for me. First of all, Chris, what do you take of it? So, try to put your neutral hat on here.
Neutral, okay. So the Army had a really strong start. Obviously, they were up at the first quarter, then into the second. Obviously, I don't know. Maybe it was just the RAF was a slow start, but then obviously they picked up. They started making the 3-point shots. They started getting more offensive rebounds, been able to swing the ball easier. So that's, I think the RAF took it in the second. Obviously, that's why they're up now by 8.
Tyler, what's your take on that first half?
Yeah, no, same as Chris, really. I mean, we had a strong start at the beginning of the game, but obviously after the second quarter, I mean, I don't know what the coaches said to the RAF, but they've come back hard in the second quarter, and the shots started dropping. They've been harder than defense. So now it's just, I think, for the third quarter, the Army just got to step up, really.
Okay, so we are at half-time here for the inter-services basketball, the women's game. The RAF are 30 points, the Army are 22. We're going to take a short break here and show you some content, BFBS content from around the world. First of all, it is in case you missed it, but please do stay with us and join us for the second half. It's going to be an exciting second half. We'll see you then.
Hi, I'm Simon Hunter, and this is In Case You Missed It. Army physio Kat Matthews will be hoping for more success as she continues her recovery journey. She competes in the Ironman 70.3 Texas Triathlon, staged just a couple of miles from the serious accident last year which left her with fractures to her skull, vertebrae and sternum. Kat came third in her first event back a couple of weeks ago in California. More bad news for RAF rugby union star Amy Cockayne. She came off before half-time in last week's inter-services defeat to the Army. It's now been revealed she has a calf injury and she'll miss the rest of England's Six Nations campaign. One Yorks have retained one of Army Rugby League's premier titles, the NAV 9 Cup. They beat 1 Regiment Army Air Corps in the main final at Aldershot. The bowl final was won by 4th Regiment RLC, while 3rd Regiment Royal School of Mechanical Engineering took the plate final. Rehearsals for the coronation meant only 7 teams took part in this year's event. A host of military players have been included in the Welsh squad for the upcoming Rugby League World Cup qualifiers. Army trio Bethan Dainton, Jade Mullen and Hannah Williams are included, with Williams and Mullen hoping to win their first caps. The RAF's Chelsea Greasley, who won the Super League South title with Cardiff Demons last year, is also in, as is former Army rugby and netball star Fern Davies. A key Army netball player will miss the UK Armed Forces' upcoming match against the Isle of Man because of international duty. Sergeant Dee Bolokoro is in the Fiji squad for the 2023 Pacific Oz Sports Series taking place in Australia. She was a key part of the Army's recent inter-services win, which was live streamed on the Forces News YouTube channel for the first ever time last month.
Back to Morgan.
Here's where he's
into the box.
Here he is, where he's.
And he's flicked it through.
That's where he's dangerous.
Again, the Marines showing their pace up front with Thomas.
Chance.
Ball goes out wide to Williams. Williams takes a shot.
Unlucky that.
And he goes just wide. Here's Morgan, still in possession. Plays it back to Reese Thomas. And Morgan again. Thomas takes the 1-2. He's surely in, and he is in. And we have a first goal of this Falklands Cup final here. Beautifully taken by Reese Thomas. Goes in there, takes the 1-2 with Stu Morgan. It's in the back of the net. Former Hereford United player. Nice ball comes across.
Cut it off.
There's a pop-on goal.
Well done.
Yeah, it was Lewis Basley there. Plays it out wide onto the right, but only into the path of a man in a green shirt. And here goes Morgan. Sees off one challenge. Referee allows player to go on. Morgan shoots. Morgan scores. It's 2-0. And I'm sure that Cian Daniels maybe had a few things to say about that, but it was a fair challenge. Stu Morgan using all his power and strength to push that ball into the back of the net. It's 2-0 to the Royal Marines. And here come the Paras with Simmons. Nice ball outside, an opportunity. Good save by the keeper. Great save from McCormick. He elects for route 1.
I'll tell you what,
and I'll tell you who's on the end of it. And very, very close was Morgan to making it 3-0. That was route 1 stuff. Marines can bring it forward. That's a lovely touch forward from Thomas. And Kebe into the penalty area. Shoots. Goes
wide.
It does go wide.
It goes wide, but that's how quickly they break.
Another chance. Opportunity then for the game to be put to bed, and that will surely be a penalty, will it? The referee says yes, or does he say no?
What's he given?
He's given a penalty.
He missed it.
Lucy Knight tries to get the pace going again, fires that ball out to the left-hand side. Amy Kikaina's the lead. That's a lovely line on this occasion. Nicole Berger looking for the offload, brilliant offload, and that is the first try.
Yeah, great try, well worked.
They are on that occasion though. Well, that's almost immediately taking advantage of the sin bin. And the Army have the lead.
Lovely stuff from Ray Metters there.
Pursclough with the conversion. Oh, it's a great attempt. And what a beauty.
That's a great kick from Courtney.
And now they've turned it over, the Army. Are we going to have a foot race down the right hand side? Oh, yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are. She's off and flying. Pursclough's at it again. 2 to beat. Under the posts. What a beauty!
Yeah, that's great rugby from Courtney. You can't argue with that. The pressure was on there. She had Caris and Chelsea on her heels, but still managed to get away.
I'll tell you what, this ground regularly sees Ollie Thorley, Lewis Rees-Sammit, Johnny May, and I've seen them score some amazing tries, and that's as good as any of them.
Absolutely, she's an absolute class player, and that is just brilliant. Yeah, we want to keep the wall safe here.
Up over the line, and it's down. The turnaround in the first half is complete. It's a third try. And the penalty is good. Caris Williams-Morris making a highly important tackle, but here come the Army once again to put the icing on the cake. Oh, Army have got in. Have they stolen it? Yes, they have. They're going to finish this game in fine style with a turnover to complete a really impressive turnaround win for the Army. Courtney Pursclough with a couple of tries, 5 conversions, and the Army have got themselves a massive win, 36 points to 8.
Hello and welcome back to Aldershot, where you join us halfway through the women's final here, final game between the RAF women and the Army Warriors women. It is 30 points to the ladies in blue, 22 to the home side, the Army. So the Army with a lot to do. Not only do they need to get above that score, they need to win by a margin of 22 baskets, not goals, to claim the in-services title, having lost to the Royal Navy women. But the RAF women, having beaten the Royal Navy women, are in an advantageous position. They are, of course, champions. I'm joined by Tyler Ramsey and Chris Moss. Chris, you've got a shout out you wanted to give out.
Yeah, so it's for Bella, number 14 for the Army, her mother, Leslie. She's watching live today with us. So Leslie, just a little shout out to Leslie
Lovely
there.
to have you, Leslie. And you should be proud of what Bella has done so far. She's a stalwart in that yellow and black. As the Royal Air Force start as they finish, but just missing that one. Any explanation, guys, with the no red? You know, is there any sort of, I don't know, sponsorship deal in place with the Warriors outfit, or is it something the Army decided to have?
What, with not wearing the red?
Yeah, it's weird that you're
so we have a home kit, but we just chose to go with the black kit. The men later on, I'm pretty sure they're playing in the red kit.
Okay.
So you will see the red today. Traditional red and black for the Army, as we do.
Fair enough. Oh, lovely shot there. The Army came in. That was a three-pointer. Lovely. I'm getting in with the lingo. Got to watch those feet. But the Army actually drew first blood of this half. They are 24 points, but the RAF pulling it back there to 33. So 9 basket deficit so far. And there is Bella.
There's Bella, yeah.
With a lovely 1-pointer, 2-pointer. Wow, nice.
So she'll go to the line now. She was fouled as she was shooting, so she'll go to the line now for one free throw.
2 points. And
yes,
then,
that's correct.
So Bella's mum is watching.
That's her third and one.
Leslie.
Leslie.
That's her third and one. Yeah. That's her third time getting that, yeah.
Yeah.
on the ball.
That's why I'm interested about whether people can draw fouls, because obviously you then get the free shot on goal. I'm not accusing Bella of, you know.
There's another goal.
So goal, that's £3. Oh, God. I'm going to be skint by the
How much am I getting for these goals?
No, you have to split the money.
We'll split it, so that's
okay,
£1.50 each.
We'll get a Kit Kat each, it's fine.
Does the
I'll go
naffy,
for Whisper.
Can you get a Kit Kat for £1.50 in the naffy these days?
Well, cost of living's gone up.
So Bella not successful on that occasion, and it's back in light blue hands. Steph Cornell, someone very kindly put big man Steph there, so let's see. Let's see where you're watching from. We've finally got our Forces News Facebook and YouTube accounts up, so hopefully I'll be able to bring you some messages, and please do keep them coming in. We'd love to know where you're watching from, because with our Forces audience, they are very well spread. That was incredible.
Great 3-pointer there from Rye, number 10 on the Army side.
Okay. That brings the Army certainly within shooting distance, 28 points to 33. But the RAF pulling it back with a 2-pointer there, 35 points.
As mentioned earlier, there's a lot of UCAF players within the RAF this year, and number 5, named Big Man Steph, she is one of those that have been representing the UCAF in the previous years.
It's noticeable. She's really standing out in this game to me.
Yeah, she's a good player. Hurts me to say, but she's a good player because I'm obviously Army.
I'll get them neutral by the end of 2 games, I promise you. Although I think in the men's senior game you could be even less neutral.
And here she goes again, Big Man Steph.
Big Man Steph. I hope she doesn't mind that. Well done, Steph. So let's see if we can bring you some of the comments. Oh, I've been spotted. Trinity Chan on YouTube says the commentator definitely has a netball background. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm trying my best.
It's okay. We want
but I'm only 5'4", so
she's doing a good job, though. She's doing a good job.
It's a learning process for me. But thank you to anyone who's watching and where you're watching. We're hoping that got confirmation that Tyler's family in Scotland are watching. Granny is 71, not 70, but she said she'll take 70, Tyler. That's good.
Hey, you got to keep him happy, haven't you, mate?
Favourite grandson for this week.
She always sends me Kinder chocolate. So I hope some more soon.
Maybe that's something you can buy with your £1.50.
Yeah.
So far.
Definitely.
Oh, lovely. Kim Hill there with some score for the RAF. That puts them 39 points, 11 basket deficit. Only said half of the word there. 11 basket deficit. The RAF women 39 to 28. Getting grief from director now. She wants in on this one goal every time I say goal.
I'm not splitting it again. I can't.
Not 3 ways.
Got to be a bit stronger in the key there, Bella.
Oh, that was a great run from the RAF number 11, Rachel Cathro, but couldn't convert it into a basket at the end. Aforementioned here, Grace Turton with a shot. And that was the 2. I'm learning
That's
from
the
fingers.
2, yeah.
That was 2 there.
Good shooting there, number 8.
Number 8, also a UCAF player representing the RAF today.
That's Grace Turton.
Yeah, that's Grace.
So 41 points to the Royal Air Force women against the 28 to the host, the Army.
Little shout out there to all the Grace's family watching on BFBS Live.
And that's on our YouTube site, and I think it's an Amanda Bladen said, as Chris said, that Grace Turton's family are watching, so I hope you're proud of what she's achieving today.
So that there was Holly Kirkham for the Army drawing the foul as she was taking the shot. So she will go to the line for 2 free throws, not goals. Free throws.
Hang on, if you say goals, do you have to pay £1 as well?
I'll pay a £5 if I
I'd
pay
say
a
don't say goals
Just
altogether.
said goals twice. Okay, so a £5 from Chris for every time he uses goals. Just £1 from me. Holly Kirkham then for the Army. Lovely. 1 point then for the ladies in the black and yellow. You can see the distraction techniques on my right here from the RAF team. Well, that time it worked. Turton with a lovely, what you call that, saved that on the baseline, wasn't it?
It was a rebound. She got the rebound.
She got the rebound. Well done, Grace.
Oh, it's a good block by Lenny there.
Good defence there by the Army. So it was a block by number 13, Lenny, and then the foul was on. I didn't see.
Might have been on Grace, I think. Might have been on Turton at number 8. But it's Army ball.
Travelation foul called there.
Okay. So yeah, explain the travelling, you know, because you're obviously allowed to move in basketball, but how much are you allowed to move?
So it's no more than 2 steps. So if you take more than 2 steps, then the quarter travel.
Without bouncing it?
Without bouncing the ball, yeah.
Oh, that was unfortunate from Kirkham.
But you can also get called for travel on your pivot foot. So if you land with both feet and you use your left foot to pivot, once you move your right foot and your left foot, then that's called travel as well.
Gosh, that's quite confusing.
Yeah, it can be quite hard, to be fair, sometimes. Like, the amount of times I've been called for travel, I swear I didn't move. But
oh, lovely dodge there, but didn't bring anything for the Royal Air Force women. Ooh, it's not going to be called up. But Holly Kirkham here with a fake, but oh, lovely block there. Number 6 from the RAF, Chloe Wright. Not allowing that. Okay, so there's a sub here for the Army. So 41 points to 29. The RAF slowly creeping ahead here in the third quarter of the Inter-Services basketball. A reminder that the RAF women are champions, so a win for them would give them the title. The Army women, as Holly Kirkham misses there, the Army women need 22 clear baskets to win the Inter-Services here, having lost their game against the Royal Navy women, which the boys assure me is attainable. Doesn't look like it at the moment. Holly Kirkham unfortunately missing both there.
it's getting to the point now where last 5 minutes of the third quarter and we're still down by 11 points. I mean, this is where the Army needs to do something special here to bring the points back up, or it's going to be a very hard fourth quarter for them.
What do you think it is at this point that the RAF has done? We talk about control. What is it they've done?
It's the control and the out-and-out pressure. Obviously, as you can see yourselves, it's the constant pressure in the face, hand up everywhere, and then the making the baskets. Obviously, if it's a jump shot, if it's a layup, like, it's just the making the chances count.
Holly Kirkham then calling the shots to her, to Army ladies. Oh, it's a lovely layup from the Army there. Puts them only 10 points behind now, 31 to 41. But in terms of Air Force and what they need to do is just more of the same. Keep it steady. The Army then looking. Oh, it's a matter of pride, really, isn't it, guys? You know, I keep talking about the 22-point deficit that they need to make up, the Army women, but a win's a win. You know,
a win. You hold your head up high. Even still, you hold your head up high, win or loss. It's pride. It's all about pride. You go to that final buzzer at the end of the fourth.
And the thing is that from the RAS point of view, if they don't win both games, they'll probably feel that it's not an out-and-out title win, is it? It's difficult. Even if by basket difference they will win.
Yeah, that's correct.
I nearly said goal difference.
I could see you trying not to.
Doing my best. I think that's allowed because it was in brackets. So we've got a free shot here for Steph.
Basket made, 11 of 5. One to come.
Lovely. Unfortunate there from
Was that the most recent?
no, that's the most recent. Sorry, we're just trying to sort out the Forces News so that the guys can see the comments here on YouTube. Forces News YouTube, of course, and Forces News Facebook, wherever you're watching. It is lovely to get comments wherever you are from around the world. I can see that Neil Cathro, RAF number 11, Rachel Cathro's family, watching from all around the country. So that could be anywhere. This is brilliant. The UK are tuning in on a Sunday to Forces News Facebook and YouTube. I hope you enjoy the match that we're bringing you. And Rachel, I'm sure, is doing you proud because I definitely said her name at least 10 times. And like magic, she gets the ball. See? That's how it works. The RAF then, 42 points to 31. They have taken control of this match here in Services Basketball, brought to you live for the first time ever by BFBS. We have, of course, covered the tournament for many years, but this is the first time we've brought you live, and I'm glad we can do that. So, yeah, tell us if you're enjoying it on Forces News Facebook and Forces News YouTube. Of course, it's the London Marathon today. I should think most of the elite runners will be finished by now, but those of you who are tuning in, a bit of a miscommunication there from the Army, but they've saved it. And that could, no, travelling. Louise Dixon has also, there's a lot of Rachel Cathro love here. Louise Dixon says, Rachel Cathro, biggest fan here, 11 blue, let's go. We are, of course, live on Forces News Facebook as well. I'll try and bring those comments. The Army then, 31 points. The RAF, 44 points. And that's a lovely intercept there with the long ball, but Kirkham intercepts it and brings it back for our Army colleagues. We're 2.5 minutes, or just over 2 minutes left in this third quarter. Lovely from Kirkham, lovely from Kirkham. 3-pointer. That brings them within 10, 34 points to the RAS, 44. The ladies in blue looking to just stay in control of this match here. And I can bring you scores from the previous game in this women's tournament. First up, the RAF played the Royal Navy and they won that 57-35. The Army women then played the Royal Navy. They lost that 41 points to 49. So understandably, it's sort of obvious on paper that the RAF just need to win this, and the Army, of course, need to win by 22 points to even stand a chance of getting that inter-services title, and the Royal Air Force ladies are not making it easy for them. Guys, we're nearly at the quarter break here. Any thoughts, you know, again, from a neutral perspective on this quarter?
No, I mean, it pains me to say it, but the RAF has played really well. I mean, they've been strong in defence. I mean, the shots have been dropping really well. Yeah, I don't want to admit it, but they played a good game. And down with the 3 again. There we go. Number 5.
Number 3. So that's
what I was saying.
Yeah, 49. Just demonstrating Tyler's point there. The RAF have had 2 very strong quarters, and the Army have got a battle on their hands to bring it back. As we've got 30 seconds remaining in this 3rd quarter. I know that if you stayed with us during the half-time break, we showed you some action from Inter-Services Rugby from last week in Gloucester, which saw a win for both the Army men and the Army women, and that makes it all to play for when they meet the Navy at Twickenham on the 13th of May, and we'll show you some look-ahead material for that in this quarter break, as we're 25 seconds now away from the end of the 3rd quarter. The RAF women are into the 50s. They are at 51. The Army women behind with 34 points. And yeah, the ladies in blue just need to keep their heads. It's hard. It's sometimes hard when you're ahead to keep your head in that sense. You lose concentration because you feel like you've already won the game. But like you said, 20 points is nothing. So really, this definitely is something that could be done, Chris, in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said earlier, you've just got to be going to the final buzzer. You continue. You as an individual and as a team go to the final buzzer. Anything can happen in a game of basketball.
And it's by magic. There is not the final buzzer, but the one for this end of this 3rd quarter. The RAF women strongly in the lead with 51 points. The Army women with all of it to do with 34 points. Do stay with us for this final enthralling quarter of Inter-Services women's basketball here from Aldershot. We're just going to take a quick break now, and you'll be able to see a bit more of what's to come for Army Navy this year.
Big play coming back to racing. Switches onto the
And welcome to Courses Sport.
You've been doing all right with the tries, haven't you?
Yeah,
last couple of seasons.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Amy Cockade, as always, a real pleasure. And welcome back to Aldershot for the Inter-Services Basketball. First time that Forces News has brought you this live. We are here for the final game of the women's tournament, and the RAF women in control here with 51 points to the Army's 34. And we were saying, just as we went off for that quick break, boys, and I'm joined, of course, by Tyler Ramsey and Chris Moss. The RAF women just need to keep their heads in this final quarter. One of you say something, come on. They're both Armies, so they don't like that kind of comment.
Yeah, it's hard to admit. Like I've said before, it's hard to admit, but their RAF have played really well. They've dominated last 2 quarters. Like, the Army now really just have to keep their heads up, keep a strong defense, and just keep attacking on the ball. But at this moment in time, it is looking unlikely. But if I was their coach, I'd be saying just go for the win.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the 22 points. Just go for the win. Keep your head high and the pride.
Feels like they're going to help, but it was stolen back by the RAF here. Rachel Cathro with a long shot, but she doesn't quite make that one. The light blues trying to keep it in play. We are here all afternoon. You have got the senior men coming up, and that will be a match between the Army and the Royal Navy men. So you get all 3 services represented here live on Forces News Facebook and YouTube. And do keep telling us who you're watching, where you're watching from. It's good to hear from our global audience, as Holly Kirkham lays one up for the Army, and Bella Morby has a go as well, but the Army can't quite convert I love this playing from the floor. We've had a question in, guys, and I don't in any way want to make this. There seems to be a lot more slam dunks, as to use a sort of colloquial phrase, but is it a height thing? We're not seeing a lot of slam dunks. Women haven't been able to get that height on the basket. Will we see a lot more of that in the men's game?
Oh, I hope so. Yeah. We've got a few people on our team that can do a good dunk, but I think to do a slam dunk, it just comes to your athleticism.
But we see a lot of nice layups, don't we? Sort of underneath the basket, sort of using that forward momentum.
Oh, I love a good little.
We'll see a dunk. I'm confident we'll see at least 2 dunks.
Okay, nice.
Oh, I reckon
from the Army.
I reckon more than 2.
Kirkham then keeping it strong for the Army. Oh, but Cathro steals it back. Grace turns like, it's not me. But that will be...
Sorry, I was trying to work out what that foul was actually called for myself. I didn't see it.
See, this is what I mean. Sometimes you forget what the foul is actually about.
But do the officials tell you? I mean, is there, do they verbalise it when they, or they just say foul?
They point at you and be like, yeah, the foul's on you. And then obviously, if you want to know, you can have a polite word with the referee. Right. If you're a bit aggressive, they could tee you up, but you don't want to start getting technical fouls against you, because then the opposing team gets the free throws and then they get possession and all that other good stuff. So if there's a bit of chat back with the officials, you can be fouled for that, can you? Yeah, it just depends on the way you present yourself. So obviously, if I go effing and jeffing and you can't referee kind of thing, then obviously they're not gonna listen to me.
Yeah, of course.
But then obviously, at the end of the quarter, if you go up to them and it's like, oh, quiet word, ref, what was that foul for 2 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Then obviously they can explain why they give that foul against you.
Right.
I find it's best though, if they get a foul called against you, it's just to move on from it, really. Just take on the chin, move on.
You're doing a lot for the lot of stuff going on in your head, and Tyler's here to tell you how to get rid of it.
That's what I've done. I get so frustrated sometimes, but I'm a very competitive person, so.
Just got to take a woo-saw moment, I suppose, because you arguing with the referee isn't going to change his or hers final ruling.
No, if anything, it could work. Like you said, it could work against you, and that works against the team, and that's never a good thing. Bella Morby then for the Army, but not converting that. A little bit of a battle under the basket there. Lovely layup.
Good long ball.
And there it is again, big man Steph for the RAF with a layup. Shout out to everyone that's supporting Steph today.
Well, that was a lovely long ball from the RAF as well, using that space. The RAF then 55 points to the Army's 34. And we are 8 minutes remaining in this game, 8 minutes in this final quarter. And my thanks to Tyler Ramsey and Chris Moss. They'll be joining me for the men's game as well. So hopefully we can keep the conversation going for another hour and a half.
We'll try our best.
Your granny watching, Chris?
Nah, my granny's not watching. She'll probably be shopping, or doing the gardening, actually, depending on the weather back in Manchester.
Yeah, there you go.
I heard she was doing a marathon, that's what I heard.
With a hip replacement, I'll be impressed.
Well, people are doing it with fridges. I mean, done a hip replacement's probably not an excuse anymore, but big up to the Moss family wherever you are in the garden. The RAF then with not an unattainable lead, but with a pretty strong one, 55 points to 34 here. Holly Kirkham again trying to do it for her team, but the RAF just always seem to end up with possession.
Oh, good steal.
Lovely steal.
Go on, Rez. Sorry, biased.
That's fine.
Neutral, Chris, neutral.
As you were saying earlier as well about the crossover from netball, so I know that number 13, Lenny for the Army, she's a crossover, so she's a netballer like you. Just to give you that
I
a little
wonder
bit
if
of
she calls
information.
it goals. I'll have to ask her afterwards. Oh, fantastic.
The only thing that's like pretty similar from netball really is the shooting technique, I'd probably say.
Yeah, in fact, I've played mixed netball in my lifetime, and a lot of the guys in particular come over from basketball. And I'm not saying their shooting is better, but their technique is more effective, and they use the same technique with the sort of the looping shot. And they're spot on, 9 times out of 10 they're getting the basket.
To be fair, most of the women that come over from netball, they score most of the points, because they're great shooters.
A netballer, of course, would say it's harder because you don't have the backboard, but I'm not saying that at all. That's not from my voice. I'm just saying a netballer would say, "Wow, they've got the backboard. How can they miss?" I've heard that comment a few times, but.
Yeah, but you got plenty of time to shoot. You can stand there, relax, take your shot. There's no hands on your face all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And 3 feet is a big distance when you're defending.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
The thing is that I've not played netball yet, so maybe if I did,
I think that should be a challenge. Tyler, in the next year, I want to see you on a netball court. Yeah. I think you'd like it, just like you're really enjoying the commentating, see?
Can you dunk it in netball? Is that possible? Can you dunk it?
No, because that counts as moving, I think.
Okay.
I've never seen it happen.
Oh yeah, I suppose you need to be quite tall and...
There are some tall netballers.
Oh yeah, I understand that, but I mean, like, being able to spring up...
Well, that would be counting as footwork, I think, if you had to... Because in netball you have to stand still.
Oh wait, can I do like a jump shot in netball?
No, because I think that means if your feet leave the ground, that counts as footwork.
Oh, right.
Well, I thought you could do a jump shot in netball. For that.
I'm going to find that out for you, boys.
Every day's a school day, right?
The Army then struggling to get the ball under the basket. Tina Miller there.
Great block there by number 22.
Brilliant.
Great block. Hurts me to say, but it was a great block.
Do you know what? She's not been on for long, Tina, but she's making a big...
Great offensive play there by the RAF.
There you go. And that is why they are 59 points to the good, 34 to the Army here. And we own to the last 5 minutes of this final game in the Inter-Services Women's Basketball Tournament. We still have the men's to come up, and the RAF under-23s were victorious earlier this morning with a win over the Army and an overall title win as well. We were 10 minutes late starting this game today. It was just a timings issue with the under-23 slightly overrunning. Whether that will affect the men's game later, it was due to start at 1 o'clock, but we will see and bring that updated at the end of this match. But let's concentrate on the RAF women, who are looking to make it into the 60-point realm.
Drop.
The RAF then 59 points to 34. But with 3 attempts on goal there, but they're going to get 3 hits here. Okay, so 2 free balls here, and they'll be taken by
Free
the
throws.
RAF. Yeah, 22. 3 throws, sorry.
Free throws, yeah.
3 throws, yeah.
Close enough.
Tina Miller.
One made, 1 to go.
I don't understand that chant.
I don't know why.
Unless you're from America, I don't understand that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Don't know why I chant USA.
I'll find out for you.
She's American,
Oh, she's
There you
American.
go.
There we go. That makes sense.
That makes sense.
I guess that, to be fair.
Put 2 and 2 together. She's American.
Tina Miller then playing for the Air Force, and she is from the USA, which makes sense, and she's certainly showing her basketball skills here. Lovely from half row. So 61 points. The RF women are into the 60s. The Army women, unfortunately for them, have been stuck in the 30s for a while. They are 34 points, but lovely intercept there from the Army women. And they will fight until the end. I'm absolutely sure of that. An attempt for a three-pointer there, but not going in. Rachel Cathro back. No. A rare mistake there from Cathro. Yeah, there's been it seems a bit headless at the moment, if I can say that. Sort of we're into the last 5 minutes, last 3.5 minutes here, and both sides losing their heads a little. 61-34 the score.
It's getting to that point now where everyone's tired.
Yep.
And they're lagging down a little bit.
Great excellent drive by Holly there.
Yeah.
Defense. Sorry guys, I'm going to shout it.
You've got quite a soprano voice. You've got quite a soprano voice there.
It's sore from yesterday shouting. Sorry, it is sore.
It wasn't the tenor I was expecting. Defense.
I could probably try that. No, I'm joking. It'll hurt.
Cathro then trying for another three-pointer, not quite, but.
There's the and one.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Excellent defense there by the Army. Excellent defense. It was a double dribble call.
Ah, okay.
That is where you bounce the ball, you hold the ball, you bounce the ball again. For those watching,
so it's got to be constant dribble.
Yeah, that's correct. Once you bounce it, if you stop, you've then got to look to shoot or pass the ball.
Wendy Eagle there, lovely. Bring in. Lenny Drummond. Boys have talked about her being a good crossover from the game of netball to basketball, and she's proving her worth here.
I'm pretty sure she can play rugby. I'm pretty sure she can play rugby. Rugby she plays as well.
I think she does, along with Bella as well. Bella also plays is a switch over from rugby.
Wow.
So we've got a very sporty team.
Do they actually have time to do their jobs?
I doubt it.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they
Join
do.
the Army, guys. Just do it. Join the Army. Join the trade, though. If you're going to join the Army, join the REMA. You might as well. Join the REMA.
Oh, so we've got a signaller and a REMA here.
Yeah, that's correct.
There we go.
So when you're at Army, it's always the same team, innit? It's always
100%. We're all a family.
We're all a big family, aren't we?
Oh, so 1 out 2 there for Lenny Drummond, and that brings the Army score to 37. The RAF women, though, well out in front with 61. So we're in the last 3 minutes of this quarter, and that will bring an end to the game. The presentations will be done later today, so it's not something we'll be able to bring you here on Forces News Facebook and YouTube, but we will obviously know the winner when the game is over, and we'll try and bring you an interview with the winning captain as soon as the game is over as well.
From both teams, was that? Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Winning captain.
Oh, winning captain, okay.
So whoever wins.
Hopefully it's the Army.
I'm not going to count any chickens right now.
Well, it's all right, you're already down £3.
I think I've done quite well just to limit it to 3. So the RAF, Holly and Rachel Kapler, they're just trying to keep the ball safe. And Wendy Eagles made a big difference since she came on to the Army, apart from that pass maybe.
Wendy's one of the vets from the Army team. She's been playing for a large number of years, probably since before I joined myself.
Don't want to age Wendy, but there you go.
Before I was born, I reckon.
Oh, Raz on the fast break. Foul. Oh, she drawn the foul. Unlucky she didn't make the basket. Okay. So she will go to the line for 2.
Okay. On one-on-ones like that, you would expect to make a basket, though, wouldn't you? Ordinarily?
It just depends on the contact. Obviously, you're travelling in a fast way. You're going to the basket. If you could draw the contact and make it, all good. You get 1 shot. If you draw the contact and miss, you get the 2 shots. And then make the 2 shots. We've got to make them count. That's why they're free. They're free, so make them count.
Rez here then. I don't even want to try and pronounce his surname. Sorry.
We
Rez.
call her Rez.
So, missed the first one. And lovely there from Rez, and that puts them on 38. But the RAF women quite far ahead on 61 as we're into the last minute and a half of this match. Inter-services basketball women's final.
Oh, excellent steal there by Rez.
Rez again.
Driving to the basket.
Oh, and she delayed that slightly, but
tried drawing the contact.
back in RAF hands. Mel Brown there, making the pass. And God, when it gets to this point, you've got a minute and a half left. It seems to take about 10 minutes to get there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's because of all the stoppages, obviously, fouls. People are getting tired, so they're getting a little bit sloppy. Still good though, still play with your pride.
The RAF score against the Navy was 57-35, so they'll be pleased with themselves. They've managed to get into the 60s. Lenny's sort of doing a bit of a netball move then. I can spot them. Kirkham. Ooh. But Rez still has it. Oh, but she's going to lose out now. Wendy Eagle then. Kirkham again with a three-pointer, but no. Is it tempting for the Army now to go for those big three-pointers because they're pretty far behind on the score, or are they just going to keep it tight?
I think at this point...
Chris's face was a bit nonplussed.
Yeah, I think at this point with 44 seconds left to go, I mean, three-pointer or two-pointer, I mean, I think we'll take anything at the moment, I think.
So, the baseline ball then for the Army, and they just need to keep it in their area. Okay, so the RAF with the ball. Desperately trying to get it in the basket. That's another score for the Royal Air Force ladies. It is that was loose. That was very loose from the Royal Air, from the Army.
That is very poor from our side.
At this point in the game. And Nadine Abbey absolutely taking advantage there of some loose ball. Cathro keeping the ball safe. They know they've only got a matter of seconds left in this game. As we build towards the end, they are 65 points to 38, and they're just piling on the points here. Really bringing it to a wounded Army side, 67 points to 38, and the Army have not been able to get out that 30 of the 30s, and the Childers hold it. It's a win for the RAF women, and they are Inter-Services title holders again. I know it's hard, guys. I appreciate that it's hard for passionate Army players that you are, but you've got to give it to the RAF because it's hard coming in as reigning champions to maintain that momentum.
Oh, 100%.
Well.
It was an outstanding performance by the RAF. Obviously, like you said, reigning champions. So obviously they hold it for the second year in a row, I think.
Yes,
so,
that's right. Yeah. Obviously we had COVID in between, but the RAF women came back and won it last year, and just showing some celebrations. It'll be hard, Tyler, for the Army women to take it, but a good match generally. Will they be able to hold their heads high for the match that it was?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think they've still done a great performance, like Chris said, and I just still have my head high. I mean, yeah, it's a bit of a high score on the scoreboard, but the RAF have always been a hard team to beat, so they should be proud of what they've done still. Plus, there's always next year. Always next year.
There's always next year.
We'll be back. We'll be stronger. We'll win it.
What's it like in the Army? You know, within the basketball fraternity, you all know each other. You know, you got to celebrate those losses, and obviously you, as senior men's sort of past players, you're here. You're supporting the women and the under-23s as well. So a lot of support for both sides.
Well, yeah, you've probably seen it today. Like, me in the sidelines, we're always cheering songs, chanting out, chanting away to both teams, men's, juniors, seniors. Like, and it goes a long way when you show support for your team.
Okay, we are trying to get a interview with the RAF winning captain at the moment, but I want to say thanks to Chris Moss and to Tyler Ramsey. They will, of course, be joining us for the match later, which sees the Army senior men take on Royal Navy senior men. And Tyler, as you're still here, of course, the Royal Navy.
Chris left me, didn't he?
Chris has gone to do some admin. Just talk us through, the Royal Navy men have been winners for the last 4 years in a row, is that right? So it's going to be a tough ask for the Army men.
Yeah, no, definitely. They've been, like you just said there, they've been the winners for the past 4 years. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of pressure for ourselves, probably for the Navy as well. Without being biased, I do believe we've got a strong chance against the Navy this year.
Okay, well,
either way, it's going to be a really good game, I think.
Okay, do join us for that. The game is supposed to start at 1 at the moment. That's time, but I'll bring you an update on that. But Julian Evans is with one of the RAF players, Grace Turton, and we'll go to him now.
Well, yeah, I'm delighted to say that I've got Sergeant Grace Turton, the winning captain for the Royal Air Force Women. You made that look easy this afternoon.
I didn't, the team did, definitely.
Look, congratulations, back-to-back titles. What's it like to lead this squad of players into double success?
It's brilliant. I mean, they're all really good basketball players, and we've got a really good team cohesion off the court as well as on the court, so that definitely helps.
As I say, you made it look easy, but you were battling away, even in that last quarter, for the 50-50 balls that were down on the court. That says an awful lot about your squad of players.
Yeah, but, you know, like, the Army are hard. They'll fight until the very last second, so, you know, we have to do the same. We have to bring that same energy.
It helps that you've got players all over the court who can pop up with points, and that's what you did. I think you scored over a dozen in that game. That really helps you as a captain.
Yeah, it just sets the tone, you know, and just having belief in myself, but also it kind of like presses it to the team as well, you know, that we've got belief in each other and in ourselves.
It's always considered something of a minority sport, basketball. So where is it at the moment with the Royal Air Force women?
It's picked up in the last few years. We've had a bit of a change of personnel amongst the ranks, so that's helped. But, you know, having people that have played basketball before they join the service also helps. But I think basketball in England is picking up, for sure.
Yeah, we've seen that with the BBL, of course, you know, and you know, the London Lions going out and doing the stuff that they've been doing in Europe. It's a great advert for the sport, and that filters down across both sexes, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But shout out to COB Rockets, because that's a team I used to play for last season, and they've done really well this season. Both men and women got into the Div 2 finals, so yeah.
Yeah, the old EBL is going strong. Do you try and encourage your players to get out as much as possible and play civilian basketball as well?
Yeah, lots of us do. It's just difficult in certain areas of the country that there's not much basketball going on. I'm in Lincoln, and there's not too much in terms of like good leagues there. But you know, the Midlands there's good leagues. Obviously down south there's better leagues as well. So quite a few of us do play outside of the Air Force.
Well, congratulations. I'm sure once the adrenaline dies down, you'll sleep well tonight.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, back to Kath.
Well, thanks, Jules, and thank you to Grace from the winning RAF Women's Inter-Services Basketball Champions of 2023. They, of course, were reigning champions from last year, so congratulations to them. Do join us again. We'll be back in the next 15 minutes for the final of the senior men's competition here in Aldershot, and that will see the Royal Navy men, who are reigning champions for the last 4 years, play the host, the Army. Do join us then. We'll be still live on Forces News Facebook and Forces News YouTube. Inter-Services Basketball 2023. See you soon.